Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me on my launch party live stream. It's going out to all kinds of places, and this is going to be very relaxed. And I see Cameron, you're here. Hi, would you like to come on the screen and we can talk? Why not? This is just very informal. This is
Okay.
hi. Anybody else that wants to come in the studio, but don't feel you have to stay just because you're on screen. So I just thought we'd all gather to celebrate because I'm really proud of this book, and I'm going to play it by ear, but I'm probably going to read some of the reviews. I'm going to pull some tarot cards for people who show up, and I'm also going to just read other things. I actually might read a little bit from this book, Lost Goddesses of Early Greece, to talk about how the myth did not always have the rape of Persephone in it, by the way. So thanks, patriarchy, right? So, but anyway, Cameron, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I'm outside and there's a little bit of construction, so I might go on mute
Yeah.
unless we're doing specific conversation. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, let's kick things off. I don't know where. Let me see where I see the comments. Live chat comments on top of cameras and shares. Let me see if that happens, if I can see comments as they come in. I may have to keep checking on my phone as well. Oh, no, there's the live chat. Hi, Debbie. I can see the chat now. Yay, I know where it is. Thank you for being here too. You're watching on YouTube, right, Debbie? Yeah, I think she is. Anyway, you'll have to answer me when you can. So, Cameron, would you like a card? You can nod. Yeah.
I would love one. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, for this live stream, I'm using a deck called the Red Seeds Tarot by Linda Hill in England. She's Linda with an I, and she's on Etsy. So the Red Seeds Tarot is based on the story of the Eleusinian mysteries of Demeter and Persephone. So I thought, what better deck for a series book to pull a card for? So let's pull you one. And then I will pull Debbie one because she's in the chat. And I might pull one for the book as well. So, and we might look at the chart for the book launch. Though officially, I think it was supposed to be out at midnight Pacific in Seattle because that's where Amazon is based. But when I looked last night, it was already on. Paperback was out, but we'll go with midnight. Anyway, the card for you is the Devil. Now, I actually quite like the Devil because it doesn't mean the devil's coming for you. So my favorite reading of the Devil card in the tarot is about finding some kind of way of laughing almost, or kind of making fun of that which bedevils you. So, that's we've all got these kind of things that bedevil us a little bit, right? And so I think it's about being devilish with those things that bedevil us. So I don't know if that resonates for you at the moment, that card. Yes, it does. Cool. Awesome. Okay, Debbie, we'll pull you one. And hi, Bianca. Nice to see you here too. You're on YouTube too. Awesome. Good to know it's at least streaming on YouTube. I have no idea if it's managing to go to all the other places I set up. But it says there's 8 people watching at the moment. Cool. We're just going to hang out and we'll see if anybody's got any questions as well in a little bit. So Debbie, I pulled you the Chariot. Okay. The Chariot is usually movement, but it's really very much about about kind of gathering all your resources ready to move forward and create something. And I think that's really appropriate today, Debbie, because we this morning had this conjunction between Venus and Jupiter and fixed star Sirius at 14 degrees Cancer, because the Chariot is very much a Cancer card. There you go. You're a double Cancer too. And you know, this conjunction, Jupiter and Venus meet every few months. So having Jupiter and Venus meet is not that unusual in itself. But having them meet at the same degree as fixed star Sirius is very rare. And apparently, this conjunction was predicted by the ancient Egyptians in their images, in their dendera, and in their temples. There's an astrologer called Divine Harmony who knows a lot more about Egyptian astrology than I do, but she did a presentation where she said the ancient Egyptians literally predicted this moment that we had this morning. And Cancer is very much kind of about gathering all your resources. If you think of the sign of the crab, it's about pulling your shell down and your pincers in preparation to move forward. So, you know, there we go. You're perhaps ready to create something. Okay, then that was for Debbie, right? So, Bianca, then G. I'm not sure, sorry, who G is. And Kimberly. I like pulling cards, one cards. They're always fun. So, Bianca, you got the two of bees. So, twos are usually decisions. And in this deck, the bees are swords, which are, you know, mind, ideas, all kinds of air energies. Okay. And this, the two of bees, suggests that you might have some kind of tension between options, or two options of some kind. And I'm going to say, oh, Kathy's here. I'll let her in a second. I'm going to say, you know, that it would be a good use of that conjunction in Cancer for you, Bianca, as a Cancer, to really go into your gut about whatever decision you are being asked to think about. You'll know what that means for you. I don't know. Hi, Cassie.
Hello, look what I have.
There you go. Yay. Do you like the things I bought for the book?
I like the pink.
Yes, me too. I thought make it stand out. So, G. Mark Wilson, I don't know what your full name is, so I'm pulling your card anywhere, and I hope the book arrives Saturday. Cool. You got the Eight of Bees too. I find this kind of interesting with Uranus in Gemini at the moment. All these bees or swords cards coming up. So, the Eight of Bees. And a reminder to those that are new, this deck is actually the deck about based on the story of Demeter, Persephone, and Hades. So I thought it was a really appropriate deck for today. Oh, Gabriel. There we go. Eight of Bees. Oh, this suggests that you might be feeling a little bit of fear around something. Gabrielle, by the way, if you want to order signed copies from sacredthreadsimprint.com, you too will get the hot pink package. But anyway, so this is often a card of feeling kind of some nebulous fears or something. So but it's all in your mind, really. So I want to read you a quote about this. Each time a swarm of worries invade your mind, refuse to be affected. Wait calmly while seeking the remedy. Spray the worries with the powerful chemical of your peace. And that was from Yogananda. So it kind of feels like to me that you might be experiencing just some kind of inner meanie thoughts or worry thoughts that are kind of running around in your mind right now. So, oh, there's the book. Yay! Woohoo! It's signed just for you too, Kathy, seeing as you're my partner in crime. Oh, okay, who else do we have? Helen. Oh, Kimberly. I didn't pull you a card, did I? If lots of people come on, I might get a bit lost, but we're going to do other things too. I'm wearing my sparkly dress, by the way, to celebrate too. It's got sequins on it. So the Four of Seeds. Seeds, that's earth in, pentacles or discs in other cards, in other decks. Four of Seeds. Fours are always about stability, really. And funnily enough, I actually wrote about gratitude a bit in my Substack blog this morning, because this card is really about, it's about acknowledging that you are rich in all areas of life and kind of showing gratitude for the abundance you do have in your life, in mind, body, spirit, all kinds of things like that. So it could be a call to do a short gratitude list or a little kind of gratitude thought here and there for you, Kimberly, while you dismantle the trampoline. Helen. So you're welcome, Gabriel. And thank you, True Life. Do you have a real name? I know, I'm really excited about this book. I mean, most of you who follow me know that I have 3 other books published, but I was paid to write those, and they were published by a publisher, and they get all the money from the sales and things, and they were great experiences. They were my calling cards. I learned how to kind of, put a book together and all the things that need doing from those experiences. But I just knew I was going to self-publish as well, and I've got more books probably coming at some point. And so I'm really proud of myself for learning how to self-publish. I made a few mistakes along the way as well. Anyway, so Helen, you got the 9 of Seeds. So I might do a little thing about 10 things I learned not to do when self-publishing or something like that. So you can all learn from my mistakes. Thank you. So I'm going to not be able to get to anything else, but this is okay. So which one were we on? 9 of Seeds. This is I am fruitful. So this is kind of another one about kind of gratitude as well. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet and the winds long to play in your hair. Seeds we planted some time ago have brought us the fully ripened fruits. Okay, so something's coming to fulfillment for you. Okay, that was Helen. I think it's time to do Kathy a card, though. Oh, and somebody else is coming on live. Susan, do you want to put do you have a camera if you want to come in the studio? Oh, there you are. There you go. We're all lining up. Look. So anyway, I'm pulling cards for people. So Kathy's next. Kathy just got delivery of my book. So she opened it right here. So Kathy, a card for you. And to new people, this deck is about the Demeter Persephone story, which is series story, really. You got the King of Vessels, King of Cups, Kathy. So what does the book say about that? But I think you know tarot enough to kind of take your own thing from it as well. But
oh yeah,
Vessels. is I am turbulent. Are you?
What do you think?
I think yes. I think yes. That Venus-Jupiter Sirius conjunction, what's that aspecting for you? Anyway, it's a lot of Cancer that. It's big, and turbulence is not always bad, I have to say, but it does mean things are swirling, right? So, there you go. I'll leave it at that. She's
I was voted most likely to spontaneously combust by my law school class. So
there you go. You're. I think you're a bit like me. Well, at least online you are. I kind of do my turbulence inside, and I kind of have this very calm demeanor a lot of the time. Yeah. But what's going on inside is not always that. So I've just got a couple of good, Helen. So a couple of other people to look at cards for true life. Whatever your real name is, that doesn't matter. The cards will know anyway. And thanks for the congratulations. Oh, well, you've got the best card in the deck. The sun. The sun's shining on you at the moment. So enjoy the good fortune. That's all I'm going to say. So, and time to heal. Nice spelling of time there. THYME, to heal. And Kendra. Kendra is the wonderful person I found on Fiverr who's posting most of my social media right now. So hi, Kendra. So time to heal. Oh, you got the Hermit. Okay. So that's the Virgo card. That's really kind of saying, you need to go within a little bit. So, yeah, I'll talk to that in a minute, Bianca. Yeah. I also did write about it today, and I did a whole video on it on my YouTube channel. So, but anyway, I'll come and talk a little bit more. So the Hermit is about looking within for something. It's shining the light within, just spending some time alone. This could be the pull of this Virgo new moon that's coming up on the 23rd. I did a video for that too. So that was uploaded this morning. Kendra, I'm going to pull you a card, whether you want one or not. And then Susan, then Christine, then we'll talk about this Jupiter-Venus conjunction a little bit because it's square Ceres in Aries right now. So she's active anyway. You got Judgment. Okay, so Kendra, you got Judgment. Don't make a judgment about the word judgment. So the Judgment card is card 20. And this is about illumination and initiation. So this really is kind of saying you've kind of done some inner processing kind of things, and you have made some decisions and come to decisions to move forward after a time of change for you. So there we go. Okay, so you are a hermit, time to heal. Cool. Just reading Sun in the 12th solar return. Oh, perfect. I'm born with Sun in the 12th. So Susan, we'll pull you a card. Nice to meet you. Where are you located?
I'm in Maine.
Maine. Lovely. Whereabouts? I've been to Kennebunkport.
North, up in Norway.
Mm.
Kind of northwest.
Yeah. Very sparsely populated up there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got the Judgment card too. That came out twice. So there you go. That's a good card, though. It kind of means you've kind of reached the judgment point after a time of kind of introspection, usually. So, okay. And I take it as to keep to myself and my studies, the 12th house. Yeah, I clearly don't keep to myself with the sun in the 12th. I used to, and I do kind of, because I really pretty much only work online. I don't see people in person and things, and I don't like speaking in front of groups of people and things, and I don't go to many conferences and stuff. So I kind of do hermit in a way, in my own way. I make it work. So the last card for a bit is Christine. That you got the Queen of Vessels. All right. So that's cups. That's a nice one. So you are the Queen of Vessels, I think. So this is I am held. Oh, again, this Venus-Jupiter conjunction. Maybe on Wednesday, Christine's in my membership group. We need to look at this conjunction, I think, in everybody's charts. But well, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to share the chart on the screen or anything. I do happen to know where Cancer is with you, and Cancer is a lot to do with mothering and mothers, and I think you just need to know that you are held right through this time. So I know that will resonate with you, Christine. I know you quite well. Let's see who else is coming on. Charlene. Hello, Charlene. Charlene just left me an amazing review that made me cry. So I might read it if people, it's public on Amazon, so I might read it and cry while people read the reviews. But that is a reminder for me to ask people to leave reviews, because reviews matter, even if you didn't buy it from Amazon. There you go, Christine. Knew it would resonate. Mm-hmm. Oh, Charlene. Whoa, the star. I'd say the star is probably my favorite card, to be honest. I love the star, but maybe that's because my progressed sun is in Aquarius. So the star. Let's read what the book says. The book that is, this deck is about Demeter and Persephone, this is I am blessed. So it says, when you find the beginning of the way, the star of your soul will show its light. And that's by Mabel Collins, who was a theosophist. But the essence of the star card is the gift of hope, guidance, and healing. Our hearts and souls are filled with an abundant love. We are inspired and feel renewed. Is that true or not quite yet? I think
yeah.
You do? Yeah. Charlene's in my Nest membership too. And on Wednesday afternoons, we have our calls, and we're going to look at this amazing Venus-Jupiter Sirius conjunction in people's charts, because, it's big whether you've got aspects to it, but it's even bigger if you've got aspects to it. So what was the actual question? It was, any advice on how to harness this beautiful Jupiter, Venus, and Sirius? Yes. My main advice would be that we have free will in how we respond to the energies. And I really associate the planets Venus and Jupiter with the law of attraction, manifestation, if you like. So if you've not had any experience of consciously trying to set intention to manifest what abundance you would like in your life in all ways, okay, I would recommend getting the book. I'm going to hold it up. Mind Magic by James R. Doty, Doty, MD. He's actually a neuroscientist, and he writes about the neuroscience of manifestation and how it changes anything. And he talks about his own journey in it and how he first manifested like all this wealth and abundance in material realms, but he forgot about his spiritual and emotional life. So this book is about manifesting abundance in all areas of your life, not just about drawing in $1 million. And the awesome thing about this book is that he does a 6-week free course at the back of the book. You know, you just have to follow what he suggests. And it's amazing, this book. So if you really want to tap into this conjunction, there's your book. Unless you really, yes, Corrine, yeah, unless you already kind of understand about how to set intentions and vision abundance in all areas of your life and things like that too. So, because it's a very rare conjunction, the ancient Egyptians predicted it in the Dendera temple, which has pictures on the ceiling, for want of a better word. And anyway, because Venus and Jupiter meet every few months, but they don't meet at the same degree as Sirius, the son of our sun, all the time. Do you mind if I mute, or do you mind if I ask you to mute, Susan, when you're not talking? Because all the jiggling is making quite a bit.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
I'm on my iPhone. I think I'm going to get off and go back on my computer.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Kareen. Oh. Okay. 6 of bees for you, more bees, more ideas, more kind of mental kind of energy. And the 6 of bees in this deck, if I don't know if you can see the image very well, she's kind of in a cocoon. She's in a kind of womb space almost, curled up. Okay, so 6 of bees. I am nurturance. Oh, what a series kind of word. So I'll read you a quote with this. One can no more approach people without love than one can approach bees without care. Such is the quality of bees. And it says, we have weathered storms, or you may have weathered some storms that have been difficult and challenging to navigate, but somehow found the strength to push through. But to me, this is saying that self-care will help you through any kind of storms or weathering as well. So I don't know if you're going through kind of anything at the moment, Corrine, but self-care, self-care, self-care. I'm always kind of talking about that in my blogs and all kinds of things. You have a mimosa flower and blue lotus glycerite last night. Oh, you made a mimosa. Cool. Awesome. Oh, no worries about being late. Okay, so, and thank you for the congratulations. I did say pop in, pop out, you know, not everybody can stay, but I decided I was going to give myself a little party for the day, not be constantly working, because this doesn't feel like work because I'm just, you know. So in spiritual serve, I can't see all your names. So anyway, I'm pulling you a card. Oh, 3 of you got judgment. Maybe I need to read a bit more from this card. I know, that's like, whoa. And you saw me doing some, oh, who's here? Shuffling. So, oh, there's Susan's back. Hi, Susan. So the words for this card, the judgment card, seeing as 3 of you got it, are I am illuminated. And the quote with this card is, within this hall, the mystics were made to experience the most blood-curdling sensations of horror and most enthusiastic ecstasy of joy. They're talking about the Eleusinian mysteries of initiation. And so I'll read you from the hymn to Demeter as well. Blessed is the person among people, I have to change it from men, who has beheld this. Never will they who have not been initiated into these ceremonies, who have no part in them, share in such things. And it says, this is a soul journey, the judgment card, of within, kind of an initiation, transformation from the inside out. Okay. It said transformation liberates us from false truths and lights up the self. So I interpret judgment on this card as kind of like this internal inventory taking. Again, not in a Virgo-y beating yourself up way, but just, kind of taking this inventory, seeing where you're at, and making a kind of judgment about where you're going to move forward. So there's your card, and 3 of you got that. Blue lotus was an ancient Egyptian revered flower entheogen. Cool. Oh, Tammy is fine. Cool. Oh, you left me a review, didn't you? Thank you. Please, everybody, leave reviews. Cool. I'm being very, very drawn to learn more about the ancient Egyptians and their astrology and mythology and kind of all the things. Anyway, so I always think of mimosa as a buck's fizz or a mimosa. So. You made it for the judgment explanation. Yes. But that wasn't your card. So let's see what card you get. Oh, you get the Fall, which is the Hanged Man in some decks. This is kind of, in fact, I talked about it on my week ahead video. I was like, let go, let it go, let things go. Surrender, let things go. Stop trying to hang on to something where it doesn't need to be hung on to. So I hope that resonates for you, random Pam. Oh, I know I will love ancient Egyptian astrology. It's just I exhaust myself sometimes. Who is you? Me? Sorry, I'm not quite sure. I was speaking to everybody who got the judgment card. So I have Ceres in Taurus in the 8th, working with plants and herbs. With the planets comes naturally. I bet. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Cool. Glad you found that card exciting. Now, in my call for reviews, I'm going to read the wonderful review Charlene left me. Is she still here? I know her connection was a bit off. And she's back. Cool.
All of a sudden, I lost everybody. I'm like, what happened?
Your connection went unstable and then you disappeared. But I was just about to read your review, if that's okay.
Yes.
So Charlene put, while not an astrologer, I have been learning from several astrologers about how planets and asteroids have been affecting and guiding my entire life. Louise is definitely the real deal and incredibly knowledgeable with a depth of wisdom many do not possess. Her ability to weave things together is almost magical, yet incredibly grounded. Louise's book, Ceres in Astrology, is enlightening to those of us who did not know of Ceres' existence or disregard her as insignificant. I'm still seeing people call it an asteroid, by the way. Call her an asteroid. Going to change that, aren't we? Anyway, yet the impact Ceres has in our lives is profound. Louise captures all the history and specific essences of Ceres in an easy-to-read book which novices to advanced astrologers will appreciate. I had the honor of reading the book pre-launch and have begun to embrace this rediscovered goddess in the sky. Our world is changing rapidly. We are in the new age of patriarchal demise and feminine rebirth. Ceres' arrival into our consciousness lets us know we are right on time. Thank you for a great book, Louise. Thank you, Charlene. But I do want to mention that Ceres, and I mentioned before, is actually square to Venus, Jupiter, and Sirius for this magical conjunction we had early this morning. And Ceres is in Aries, and she just stationed retrograde as well, which means that she will be aspecting the degree of this conjunction 3 times. And I've been kind of hammering on this message for quite a long time, really. Oh, I think, yes, it was for you, the card. Anyway, I've been hammering on about, really, we each have to do our healing from the inside out to co-create this new paradigm that we're moving into. We are not, nobody's coming to save us, no savior, no magical. This is about each one of us realizing that we are kind of alone in some ways. Funnily enough, I was listening to an interview with somebody I admire very much. He's the lead singer of a band, The Cult. Some of you may not know him. Most of you know I'm obsessed with going to see bands. But anyway, Ian, I've followed him for years, and he's a very spiritual guy and a Buddhist. And he said those exact words in a context as I was listening, as I walked this morning, that we are in some ways alone. That doesn't mean we're lonely. It just means everything is contained within us, and it's up to us to create intimacy from the inside out. I've done a lot of work on this, from internal family systems, which is called parts work and things like that, and their expression is about intimacy from the inside out. And that's another reason I preach self-care, self-care, self-care. So if you're going to also want to work with this Venus-Jupiter-Sirius conjunction, I would challenge you to up your self-care. Now, by self-care, let me talk about this, is I do not mean necessarily going for massages and pedicures, though if you love them, that's fine. I mean deep self-care. It means putting your oxygen mask on first before you put anybody else's on. It means making sure you prioritize taking good care of your mind, body, spirit in every way. And that will mean something different for everybody. When I kind of launched on the self-care thing in a big way, somebody challenged me to write 100 things that were self-care for me. And it meant things like, even if it was 2 minutes of bare feet on the grass, just to kind of tune in, or a breathing exercise just to rebalance, to the bigger things. I never got to 100, but I practice self-care every day. I really practice what I preach, and I prioritize that, even if that means getting up at 5 a.m. to walk under that beautiful conjunction to my fun boxing class with a bunch of friends, where we box to loud music, punch bags, not actual boxing, and then walk back again. That I put before all this work. And all these people always say to me, Louise, you're always working, you're always doing so much. Well, I also have a very active physical exercise life, self-care life, and fun life, going to see bands with my husband. We went to see bands last night, Bush and Shinedown. We went to see last night. And we're going to see Cyndi Lauper on Thursday, and I'm going out for dinner with some friends tonight. So, I think a lot of us generationally are taught to put everybody else first, and especially women, and especially those of us Pluto and Virgo people, by the way. And no, it's about holistic health first, and then you are more able to come from that place of wholeness to help others and serve others too. Sacred service, as I called the video for the Virgo new moon coming up. So anyway, yes, that card was for you. Call you Kez. Okay, those red thread cards are amazing. Yeah, letting go is not always easy. You don't have to let go of everything sometimes. So, by the way, but it will, maybe there's just something coming up as the moon wanes right now. And as we have this, again, magical conjunction, starting something very new. So at 14 Cancer, whatever that's aspecting in your chart or wherever it is in your chart. We'll speak to that. So, what to do next? So speaking of that, yeah, I am going to look at series. My members, you're going to get this on Wednesday, or if you've got a reading coming up. But I'm not going to share charts online because this is going out to a lot of people, actually. So if anybody would like me just to look at series in their chart, and I can also quickly look at where this big conjunction is, you will need to let me have your date, time, and place of birth. And the chat, I don't know where you are. It might go out to the public. So after I've seen it, you might want to delete the comment. So if you're very public, if you don't like to give your date, time, and place of birth to the world. So I don't think there's a way to private message me on this. So. Or no, if you're in the comments, you can't. If you're in live, then you can actually, just tell me. Okay, Bianca. So let me just start to put your chart in. So Bianca, what's your date of birth? I don't want to be the cause of anybody's identity theft, by the way, but I share my chart online. I'm never very worried about it, but some people are. June 23, 1982, 3:27 p.m. Oh, I don't know if I've ever done a reading for somebody born in the Philippines. Have you had your astrology chart done before? Philippines. Make sure I spell Philippines right. Okay. Let me just. Okay, I've got your chart up. Let me see. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah. So if you want to delete the comment wherever you're from on YouTube, you can, because I've got your chart now. So, okay. So, first of all, have you had astrology readings, Bianca, or have you studied astrology at all? Oh, you have, yeah. So this big conjunction this morning, at 14 Cancer is on your North Node, your 8th house North Node. So you are being pulled to something really deep, some deep soul exploration. And it's really about building your own sense of security and safety, I think, and creating that within yourself. The 8th house, in some ways, it's the house of shared resources, it's the house of secrets, but it's also the house of, the deep soul exploration. And Cancer is about self-care, self-love. I think this is going to launch you. So all I've talked about self-care and things could not apply to you more. Did that resonate for you? Yes. Okay, so that's the North Node. So let me just quickly, I'm not doing whole readings, of course. And you have series at 12 Scorpio, which is in a lovely flowing aspect to that North Node in the 12th house. I think, some deep time alone, maybe even some deep, a meditation kind of retreat or something, if you can possibly do anything like that. But you are really in for creating some true soul searching from within, and to learn that deep self-care. So you were born in 1982. I didn't really kind of get to all that real focus on self-care till I was quite a bit older than you. So maybe you can learn when you were younger than me. So Helen has Ceres conjunct Sun in Virgo, and you have worked with children and young people all your life. Can't make this thing up, right? But I hope you also learn to put yourself first with working with all those children, because sometimes that can be really draining. So, by the way, ChatGPT doesn't always get astrology right. So I would check the astrology on a site like astro.com or something. Put your chart in, look for the symbol of Ceres. I think you have to add it in extended chart selection. They don't have it in their normal chart. And just make sure that you've got the right placement, because definitely ChatGPT has been known to be wrong. So, but it, but ChatGPT's explanation too was spot on. Yeah, I would check it. I really love ChatGPT. I use it for quite a lot of things, but it gets things wrong in the astrology. So, check. As a Scorpio, I'm fully in tune with the 8th house. Oh yes, yeah. I have Scorpio right at the top of my chart. Venus, Neptune, Scorpio in and midheaven, all within 2 degrees at the top of my chart. So I'm deeply in tune with it too. And we have quite a bit of Scorpio in my family. My husband has none. Me and my daughters do. So he had to deal with a lot of intensity amongst the women he was surrounded by. Poor guy. Oh, Ceres actually spends more time out of bounds than any other planet, by the way. And she goes quite out of bounds. So it's not that unusual to have Ceres out of bounds, but that doesn't mean it's not important. And in Sag, so does, seeking freedom, truth, travel, all of those things, is that kind of really a way to fill your needs and expansion as well, spiritual kind of philosophical pursuits and things. You probably do it to the nth degree with it being out of bounds. So, but your name actually kind of probably indicates that too. So, so anyway, you're learning to balance your needs too. Yeah, and I think most of us are, but you always ask ChatGPT to check twice. Yeah, I know. I would still check it with an astrology calculation site. If you search free astrology chart calculations, there are other sites that can create it too, just to make sure. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I get that. Yeah. I'm quite often transposing things and yeah. But, I still just from, I got some ChatGPT help and guidance republishing, particularly with this book, and it gets some things wrong. So there you go. So you double check. Yes, Kathy.
I'm going to need to go. I want to
Yeah.
congratulate you. Yay. Wonderful day. Bask in it.
Kathy is the person, well, we do those videos, but she also recommended the wonderful Sleeping Cat books, who designed the interior of my book and made it look so pretty. So I'm really
glad.
grateful for that. Yeah.
Congratulations. Bask.
Enjoy Houston. When do you leave?
Tomorrow morning.
Woo, enjoy.
See you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Okay, anybody, any other? Oh, I didn't see your birth infos. Hang on. People, stop writing comments for a second. Well, I put this in. Sorry about that. So, November 5th. Oh, you were born just before me. I was December the 14th, 59. So. Gastonia. I've never heard of that. I love geography too, probably because I have multiple planets in Sagittarius. So whenever there's a place I discover that's I've never heard of, I'll probably have to go and look it up on the map later. Oh, cool. You only found me this week. Well, welcome. So, spiritual Tammy. So, well, you, wow. Is that that time? Let me check it. 3:32 a.m. 0 Libra ascendant, right? Do you know your astrology at all? Have you just? I'm just checking. I've got the right time because all your angles are at 0 degrees. Yes, we're pigs. It kills me when I say I'm a pig. But anyway, so if your time's right, then this massive conjunction this morning was right up there in your 10th house. So I don't know what's happening for your career, or your mission in life, but that looks really good for that. Having this wonderful conjunction right up there. But yeah, you've got Ceres in Sag in the 3rd, and you've got Jupiter in Sag, and you've got Mercury in Sag. We both have Mercury and Jupiter in Sag. A 3rd house. So do you write about things for your work? Well, if you book a reading this week, I'm going to honor all those readings. I'm closing the books in a week's time. I thought I'd give people notice, but feel free to message me or email me, louise@louiseeddington.com, for the link if you want one, because I don't mind honoring pre-booked ones already, but I'm just not going to take any more bookings from next Monday, just for a bit. I need some time some space. So anyway, that was random Pam, but back to Tammy. So we are pigs in, yes. So I'm looking at your chart. So do you write, or do you do videos and things in your work, Tammy? Oh, you do the astrology posts. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I'll get the link in a minute and post it in chat. So have you felt from writing the astrology posts, how long have you been doing them for? Because really my book on series developed from writing the astrology posts and deepening my knowledge of astrology. Has anything come through? Because, those of us with Mercury and Jupiter in Sag, we are huge idea machines and really want people to hear the stuff we're talking about. So, maybe more blogging or writing articles or something like that as well as just the astrology posts. It built up, mine built up and started from writing just daily posts on Facebook, and then I decided my posts were getting more and more complex and detailed. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Substack and see if I can actually get paid some money to write all these detailed posts. And I did start getting payments. So, you discovered me through the goddess. It's cool. Well, email me, come and talk to me. Anybody, anyway, there's the link if anybody wants a consultation. It's gone to everywhere, apparently. So, woo, that's magic. I didn't know it would do that. So, if anybody wants, a reading or, to work with me in a deeper way, or if you're an astrologer, my Nest membership is really good for that, for learning more astrology and kind of learning to deepen your astrological practice over time and through practice looking at charts. You would agree, right, Charlene? You're not even an astrologer, but you're learning loads from it, right? Yeah, and the Nest membership you can find on louiseeddington.com, my website. So, for somebody like you who already writes astrology posts, that having just a consultation, I'd love to do one for you, but that might not be the best way forward, first of all. Oh, it's showing the comments on Facebook and things from me. Cool. I didn't know it did that. So, anybody any more questions? Wow, an hour has nearly flown by. So, of course, yeah, or email me about it, whichever. Louise at louiseeddington.com for any questions about these things. But I am firm that I am closing down taking any more bookings till the end of the year, because I did this year, I did my Venus retrograde class, which is amazing. But I also finished this book and published it, and I'm running a mentorship group for OPA, the Organization of Professional Astrology, and running my memberships, and running a mentorship group within this mentorship membership as well, because I want to build up the practice for doing that. And I want to write more books. So something had to go. So anyway. So if you book a reading now, you're fine. So would anybody like me to read the myth of Demeter and Persephone before the patriarchy kind of took over and decided that Persephone was raped? She wasn't. Anyway, so this book is by Charlene Spretnak, and she went to the pre-Hellenic myths. So that means before the men wrote the myths, like Homer and people like that, which, oh yeah, 2026 is fine too. Yeah, cool. I will read it then. It's not very long. So there once was no winter. Leaves and vines, flowers and grass grew into fullness and faded into decay, and then began again in unceasing rhythms. Men joined with the other men of their mother's clan and foraged in the evergreen woods for game. Women with their children or grandchildren toddling behind explored the thick growth of plants encircling their homes. They learned eventually which bore fruits that sated hunger, which bore leaves and roots that chased illness and pain, and which worked magic on the eye, mouth, and head. The goddess Demeter watched fondly as the mortals learned more and more about her plants. Seeing that their lives were difficult and their food supply sporadic, she was moved to give them the gift of wheat. She showed them how to plant the seed, cultivate, and finally harvest the wheat and grind it. Always the mortals entrusted the essential process of planting food to the women, in the hope that their fecundity of womb might be transferred to the fields they touched. Incidentally, human beings started to, I will in a second, started to create communities and toil the soil, if you like, at the start of the Neolithic Age, where Sedna was 11,406 years ago. So we're returning to some of that. Demeter had a fair-born daughter, Persephone, who watched over the crops with her mother. Persephone was drawn especially to the new sprouts of wheat that pushed their way through the soil in her favourite shade of tender green. She loved to walk among the young plants, beckoning them upward and stroking the weaker shoots. Later, when the plants approached maturity, Persephone would leave their care to her mother and wander over the hills. Oh, I'll just let that person in. I can see them. Hang on, I can't see who it is. Okay, so I will. No, don't know who it was. Anyway, later when the plants approached maturity, Persephone would leave their care to her mother and wander over the hills, gathering narcissus, hyacinth, and garlands of myrtle for Demeter's hair. Persephone herself favoured the bold red poppies that sprang up among the wheat. Poppies. Anyway, It was not unusual to see Demeter and Persephone decked with flowers dancing together through open fields and gently sloping valleys. When Demeter felt especially fine, tiny shoots of barley or oats would spring up in the footprints she left. One day they were sitting on the slope of a high hill, looking out in many directions over Demeter's fields of grain. Persephone lay on her back while her mother stroked her long hair idly. Mother, sometimes in my wanderings I have met the spirits of the dead hovering around their earthly homes, and sometimes the mortals too can see them in the dark of the moon by the light of their fires and torches. There are those spirits who drift about restlessly, but they mean no harm. I spoke to them, Mother. They seem confused, and many do not even understand their own state. Is there no one in the netherworld who receives the newly dead? Demeter sighed and answered softly, "It is I who has domain over the underworld. From beneath the surface of the earth I draw forth the crops and the wild plants, and in pits beneath the surface of the earth I have instructed the mortals to store my seed from harvest until sowing, in order that contact with the spirits of my underworld um, will fertilize the seed. Yes, I know very well the realm of the dead, but my most important work is here. I must feed the living." Persephone rolled over and thought about the ghostly spirits she had seen, about their faces drawn with pain and bewilderment. "The dead need us, Mother. I will go to them." And by the way, many people think the dead is our unconscious or subconscious, right? So Demeter abruptly sat upright as a chill passed through her and rustled the grass around them. She was speechless for a moment and then hurriedly began recounting all the pleasures they enjoyed in the world of sunshine, warmth, and fragrant flowers. She told her daughter of the dark gloom of the underworld and begged her to reconsider. Persephone sat up and hugged her mother and rocked her with silent tears. For a while they held each other, radiating rainbow auras of love and protection. Yet Persephone's response was unchanged. They stood and walked in silence down the slope towards the fields. Finally they stopped, surrounded by Demeter's grain, and shared weary smiles. Oh, it is a bit longer than I thought. It seemed short when I read it. Well, anyway, long story short, Persephone gathered 3 poppies, which, by the way, of course, poppies are related to opium. Okay, so there was said to have been, the use of psychedelics in the Eleusinian mysteries of the underworld, and 3 sheaves of wheat. And another thing they were supposed to have imbibed at the Eleusinian mysteries was made of wheat. Okay. Then Demeter led her to a long, deep chasm and produced a torch for her to carry. She stood and watched her daughter go down farther and farther into the cleft in the earth. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Persephone became queen of the underworld, but then for months, Persephone received and renewed the dead, without ever resting or growing weary. All the while, her mother remained disconsolate. Demeter roamed the earth, hoping to find her daughter emerging from one of the secret clefts. In her sorrow, she withdrew her power from the crops, the trees, the plants. She forbade any new growth to blanket the earth. The mortals planted their seed, but the fields remained barren. So on and so on. One morning, a ring of purple crocus quietly pushed its way through the soil and surrounded Demeter. She looked with surprise at the new arrivals from below and thought what a shame it was that she was too weakened to feel rage at her injunction being broken. Then she leaned forward and heard them whisper in the warm breeze, "Persephone returns, Persephone returns." Demeter leapt to her feet and ran down the hill, through the fields into the forest. She waved her arms and cried. Everywhere her energy was stirring, pushing, bursting forth into tender greenery and pale young petals. Animals shed old fur, and so on and so on. When Persephone ascended from a dark chasm, there was Demeter with a cape of white crocus for her daughter. They ran to each other and hugged and cried and laughed and hugged and danced and danced. The mortals saw everywhere the miracles of Demeter's bliss and rejoiced in the new life of spring. Each winter they joined Demeter in waiting through the bleak season of her daughter's absence, and each spring they are renewed by the signs of Persephone's return. So anyway, I think that is a really beautiful telling of the myth. And let me get the box for that deck. But I would urge everybody, if you're astrologers or not, to not take these myths so literally. They are archetypal and they work on so many levels. I see the myth of Demeter, Persephone, and Hades moving into the dead, the underworld, as mind, body, spirit coming into initiation of union so that you are healing from the inside out. Anyway, that's the box. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I just... Oh, there we go. That's the box. She's on Etsy in the UK. The Red Seeds Tarot by Linda Hill. There's her name over there. Or again, and any questions about these things you can email me too. So, yeah. So, back again. The deck is called the Red Seeds Tarot by Linda Hill. And Erin, you're quite new here, and Kate, welcome. You two didn't get cards. I think you're the only two that didn't. So, would you like a card each? From that deck. Oh, cool. Thanks, Tammy. Yay. Join me on those calls once a month. First Thursday. Yes, Red Seeds. No, there's two. She has the Red Seeds and the Red Threads. I have both decks. So, so the Red Seeds is based on Demeter and Persephone, and the Red Threads is Ariadne and Dionysus. They're both wonderful decks. So, and I think she's just put a new one out, which I'll probably buy as well. They're not cheap. And I really cannot believe this. Judgment again. This is for you, Erin. We did a bit of a deep dive into the Judgment card a little while ago. So this will be out on the recording on YouTube. So I don't know if you want to go through everything and listen back. But I can't believe how many times this card has come up in this one call. The cards are amazing. That's why I love them. But anyway, it's illumination. This is inner illumination and initiation and kind of your own kind of judgment within, Erin. So, Kate, a card for you. Yeah, look at her Etsy shop. It's Etsy in the UK though, so the shipping is not cheap, but the decks are just amazing. How many times is that? 4 or 5? We pulled, yeah, 4. Yeah, I think that's quite a lot with these few people. What are the odds? Bit of a message for everybody, perhaps, right now. Anyway, you, Kate, get the Strength card. And that's, if you look at it, if you see the image, it's actually of a heart, which is where true strength comes from, right? It's often has a lion on the card in some decks. So, but let's see what the message of the Strength card in this deck has, because the messages are often quite tailored towards this deck. So, because the Linda Hill that creates the decks, she's studied the myths and everything in great detail, as well as the tarot. So anyway, this is I Am Fortitude. And this card is related to Demophon, and that's actually the demigod that Demeter tries to turn into an immortal god, but was stopped from doing it in one of the tellings of the myth. Anyway, so I'm just going to read you a quote for you, Kate, for this card for you. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. And that's Mahatma Gandhi, meaning it comes from the heart. Okay. The heart itself, cœur in French means courage, and that's the word for heart in French. So you're being asked to kind of really go into your heart, to find some courage for whatever's happening in your world. Hello from Virginia. What's your name? I know it's not that username, which I'm not going to try and say. Quilks whoosh, Quilks whoosh, or something. Anyway, I'll pull you a card no matter what. But one other reminder to the new ones, if you have my book already or it's on the way, please leave me a review when you're able on Amazon. Even if you didn't buy from Amazon, you can leave the review on the Kindle version. If you're in a different country, you do it on your own Amazon, like Amazon Canada or Amazon UK, and it does show up on Amazon.com as a review from Global Reviews. And also, if you don't have my book yet, it's all there on Amazon now. Or you can get signed copies still from sacredthreadsimprint.com. So you got the Seeker of Bees. We have lots of bees as well. Loads of bees. So they're swords in other decks. But the Seeker of Bees is a seeker, as you might imagine. Let's see what this book says. I haven't looked at this deck for a while because I've been using the Red Threads Tarot mostly. So, this one is I am enlivened. It said a bee is never as busy as it seems. It's just that it can't buzz any slower. Here is a young woman who is apt, ardent, studious, and willing to learn from all that life can offer. Some feel there is too much talk emanating from this young seeker. It may be annoying when others desire peace and quiet, but we must honor and appreciate this abundant curiosity for life that this seeker devours so eagerly. Like bees, she is always busy communicating, flying around, and meeting up with as many beings as she can. Now, I'm going to actually kind of say that this is kind of for you, Quilk Swoosh, however you say it, from Virginia. This is your inner voice. You've got all these ideas swirling around, and it's embrace that curiosity right now. Uranus in Gemini might be impacting your chart in some way for a start. So it's like one thought here, one thought there. Kind of make note of them all or speak them into something and embrace this like extreme curiosity that's at the moment, rather than kind of saying, oh, my mind won't stop and moaning about it. So you did ancient Greek mythology at school. Oh, lucky you. We did World War II, I think, pretty much all the time, because I grew up in England, and it took us a long time to recover from World War II. So we did the European history, really, of all those countries. We didn't do ancient Greek mythology. I've had to read that for myself. Karen, cool. No worries. Cool. Welcome, Karen. So, any other questions, or want me to quickly look where Siri's in the chart? I'm going to stay on till 30 minutes past the hour. Or anybody just want to say anything, or talk about anything, myths, all of that kind of thing. By the way, my next book, one of them, might be Demeter's story. If any of you have read Circe, the book, and there's some other books as well, there's kind of a lot of fictionalized storytelling of these ancient goddesses at the moment. Only my book is going to go back way before Greece. So it was offered in your school, Brenda, Well, look at you. Maybe I'm older. I don't know because we certainly didn't get it. So you're a Gemini. Oh, so you are curious already. Okay, Erin, let's get yours in the software. Okay. Erin. So just had a birthday. Pretty much. Happy birthday. A Solar Fire has Series, but I use Astro Gold, so I'm not sure how to do it. But did you know there's a Solar Fire software group on Facebook that would probably tell you really quickly? I use Astro Gold because I'm a Mac person. It's made by the same people as make Solar Fire. I actually do have a copy of Solar Fire on an old laptop, but I have not used it for ages. So, okay, Erin. So specifically, really, I'm just going to look at where your series is, and then also where this lovely conjunction was this morning. I'm just going to have a quick drink now. Okay. So your series. You have series in Aries. You're about to have a series return. So your series in Aries is right at the cusp of your 11th house. What do? Do you kind of, Erin, fight for causes and things like that? Does that really kind of, or do you like being in a large group of people that really kind of nourishes your needs and things? Do you like being involved in community events and so on? Because being a bit of a leader in those would probably, you're a host. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a bit of a cause. Yeah. But, I think fighting for a good death is a cause for hospice care. I think hospice care is so important. And with that series in Aries, I bet you're very good at it. And, I could see you being in management doing it as well. So, if you're not yet. So, you do have to stand up. Yeah, you do. Yeah. I've not worked in hospice care, but I have trained as part of my shamanic training when I did it for a year. And yes, I know somebody else gave me birth details. I will come back to that. I was taught to help people transition, and I actually did it with my neighbor. And I didn't have to really fight for her, but I had to remain firm about her wishes with her family. So, yeah. So it's not easy work. Good for you. So also though, this conjunction this morning. So you're Cancer rising, nurses. Hey, yes. But this Venus Jupiter Sirius conjunction that was early this morning was right in your first house, which is who you are in the world. And it's actually very close to your Centaur Nessus and your Hecate. I think you've got something more coming from you as regarding, how hospice care has been done in the past, or just regarding the future of helping to create a much more compassionate kind of hospice care work than perhaps there has always been. Do you know Macmillan nursing in the UK? I'm thinking of something like the Macmillan nurses. They are very trained in a very compassionate way to do it. I don't know what the US hospice care has been like, but I think, there may have been some almost abuses of power of the system to not have people to help people to have a good death or come to terms with their deaths. So I think there might be something quite new coming for you that's going to make you one of the leaders in the field, because we're overall moving into a time of more balancing of compassion and the science. Corruption, that's the thing. Yeah. I think that, something could emerge from this period, because it's such a massive conjunction, because it's also squaring your Ceres, because you're about to have a Ceres return when she goes direct and passes over it next year, that you may be pulled to kind of, fight for changes in the system itself in some way. I think we're going to get worse before it gets better, though, because of what's happening at the moment. Yes. You see, they do that a bit in the UK, the Macmillan nurses. When my dad was dying, they actually came round and they were using like oils on his feet and things like that, just to kind of make him feel better. So I think it'll come, and I think you're going to be part of the push to do that. So yay, keep going. Maybe I can inspire you to kind of think about how you could do that. So I'm just going to go back to Gabrielle's date of birth. Bear with me while I get that date of birth. And we're coming to the end of the 90 minutes, but I really want to thank you for all coming. And again, reviews, please. So, is that you're born in Canada? I'm just going to put the place in, but could you confirm, Gabrielle, whether that's 3rd of October or or March the 10th? Because I don't know which way around Canada do it, because they were British founded. So if you could write it out, that would be super. Because that's one of those dates that could be transposed. I'm just going to new comments. Well, yeah, I can do a very quick one. Yeah. Let me just get the actual date of birth for Gabrielle. So Gabrielle, is it March 10th or October the 3rd? 3rd of October, thank you. Glad I asked. October 3. That's why on my intake form for readings, and anybody who else does astrology, if you do intake forms and do international ones, you might want to ask people to write their date of birth longhand, because different countries put the date and months the other way around. Okay. So, series for you, Gabrielle, is my eyes are glazing over, which is why I can tell we're coming to the end of the 90 minutes. So, in Gemini, in the 10th house. So yours is up in the 10th house. No, it's not always. Gabrielle, in the UK and Australia, they do day for day, then month. Yeah. So it does get confusing. People put it the wrong way around. I can tell you they do. So anyway, I don't know who decided that was the international standard, because it's a lot of other countries use it the other way around. But anyway, Ceres in Gemini in the 10th house. So really it's like teaching, communication, facts, details, like telling people that it's the international standard. But I can tell you people write it the other way around. But anyway, that's your strength, though, is the facts and the details. So it may be the international standard, but people write it the other way around. So Ceres in Gemini, what nurtures you is learning and understanding all these facts and details. You're probably really kind of always kind of learning new information like that. You're probably a mine of information in so many ways, especially with Virgo rising too. So 2 mercurial signs. So that's your series. And these eclipses are going to actually square your Ceres, and it's opposing your Mars too, by the way. Hang on, Brenda, I'll come back to you. And this conjunction this morning for you, Gabrielle, was in your 11th house. Okay. And so that is groups, organizations, causes, but it can be just groups of friends. Venus, Jupiter, Sirius in there kind of indicates like that area of life is really kind of going to be expanding and growing. You know, you may meet a lot of new friends. Okay, so oh, is it okay? But people just don't, Gabrielle. That's why I asked people to write it out longhand in my intake form. People, you know, write it the way they're used to. So is my point. So yeah. So I always make sure by having it written out clearly, so I don't get it wrong, because then the whole reading's wrong. Okay, so yes, quick reading for you. I'll need your date and time of birth, and what was your name again? And then I'll talk to Brenda. Then we'll have to leave because I'm going out for dinner as well with friends. So I'll answer Brenda while I get your date and time and place of birth for your anniversary and things, so we can quickly look at that. Is there a tool where you can get your series reading? I've just done some off the cuff here. You could book a reading with me. I'm closing my books for consultations on Sunday night. So I will honor any prior booked ones, but I won't be taking new bookings until January the 1st, 2026. I've put a link in the comments, a consultation, but you can also find free astrology creation software. Astro.com has series included in it in the extended chart selection. You can create your chart for free and then look for the series symbol, which is on the front of the book, and look for the signs. Most of those softwares tell you what sign and free it's in, but you know, I'm running out of steam. I said I'd stay for 90 minutes. I said, so there's one more to do. I'm just waiting for her date of birth, and I can't stay on for after that. My voice is going croaky for a start too. So Karen, yes. So Karen, yeah, sorry, Brenda. So, well, maybe, oh, here we go. Here you are. So just so you know, Gabrielle, I'm not going to retain all that information right now because too much going on. Oh no, I'm sorry. I wish I could do one for you, Brenda, but I could stay on forever and then I'd be exhausted. So, and I'd be late for when I go out for dinner later as well. So, because I have a couple of other things to do. 10:30 a.m. Oh, it's a shame you don't know your exact time. That would be great to find out at some point. Have you ever looked on your long form birth certificate for your time of birth, Karen? Oh, thank you for attending. Oh, it will be lovely. My two best buddies. So thank you guys. So, Gabrielle. No, not Gabrielle, it's Karen. Sorry, I've still got the other name on. I forgot to change the name. See, you can see I'm running out of steam now. So, Karen, Your series is in eyes are glazing over. You've got Ceres in Gemini too, in the 11th house. Oh boy, you've got Ceres, Mars, Chiron, and Sun all in Gemini in the 11th house. Do you like speak to large groups of people in some way? Because if you don't, then, or have lots of groups of friends, then you should, with that much Gemini in the 11th house, because that's groups, causes, organizations, or you teach large groups of people. So that's where your series is. Okay, so that's in your 11th house. It's all in the book if you want to go and read the book as well. What further explanations? Yeah, we'll finish as soon as I've done this one. And just a general reading for you, because it's your oh cool, awesome, buy the book. Yeah, I'm very proud of it, to be honest. This lovely Venus-Jupiter conjunction this morning was in your 12th house. This is kind of, Karen, this is really suggesting that you know, it's hard to look at everything, but you are being pulled to kind of a much more a big period of, I'm going to call it spiritual growth, or even psychic growth in some way, and moving, you know, towards developing that. You're a community correspondent. Oh my God, that's so accurate for that Gemini. But this this Cancer in your chart, it feels like, or there's something regarding your family and home that you kind of want to grow more with this beautiful conjunction that we had this morning. You do have a moon in Cancer, so you're also kind of very attached to your connection with source, whatever you call it, and to growing and developing that. But that can also mean the intimacy as well, or inner intimacy. So have you been feeling a bit of a shift towards that more as well, Karen? But I'm not saying give up the correspondence. You know, that's perfect for all that Gemini. Wonderful. But you can do both because you're a Gemini. You can develop this self-care and this more. It does feel like spiritual growth is coming for you. So you may be drawn to kind of developing more of this, you know, learning more about astrology, learning more about, you know, personal growth and things like that. So because it's big. All righty, I am going to go, and thank you again, everybody, for coming. Please write a review. Oh, Janelle. Janelle just had a reading just before this, in fact. So I'll post that link again and grab one, because when I come back on January the 1st, I'm putting the price up too. I just cannot keep going at the rate of how much work I do for what I've been charging. So no, it's been really great. But if all you do is buy the book, or just you know, just connect online, please keep doing all that as well. And if you buy the book, please review on Amazon. So okay, bye everybody.